Interestingly, the older gentleman, he said him and Ali got along real well, and Ali felt them out, understood what his background was and all that previously. And he actually said to him, I guess I could say this now. I'm not saying anybody's name, but Ali. He said, yo, he said, look, I got a warehouse full of blow. Let me know what you want to do if you feel like getting back down.
He told that to Ali?
That's what Ali told him.
What?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
He probably wasn't lying.
No, I'm sure he wasn't.
He probably wasn't lying. He probably was keeping it 100.
He's with the shit. That was obvious. Ali was with the shit. You know what I mean? And he was no longer in the position he was previously in. So his freedom movement was a lot greater than it had been before. And he obviously he held it up, right? He didn't tell nobody. So
he told him at the hearings that the buck stopped with him.
See, that's standing up.
He was a patriot. He's a patriot. He felt that he was doing it for his country. A lot of people, felt that way too. That saving Nicaragua was being patriotic to the United States, because had Russia took over Nicaragua, they felt that they would be on our hemisphere. So,
well, yes, absolutely. They would have the opportunity to set up a base that gave them obvious reach to any major city in this country.
Yeah.
And that changes the game. It's a different thing when, somebody is your opposition and they don't know where you live. You know what I mean? You can handle them one way if they don't know where you live. But if they know where you live, you have to change your tactics completely. You have to actually kind of, you got to really find a non-conflict kind of way to deal with them, because they understand
where
you're vulnerable.
They got to up on you.
Yeah, no doubt.
They know where you at all the time.
Yeah. So that's serious. That's definitely serious. Your connection with that Contra thing is still. I know that a lot of people still don't understand your connection to that, and how big that is. Even though Gary Webb did an extraordinary job in putting it all into perspective, and drawing that line between that situation in Nicaragua and the situation that you had going on and how it ultimately went. It's unlike anything. At what point did you realize the level of involvement that you had? Like, did you think it was kind of odd that you were getting the amount of material you were getting at the kind of rate you were getting it, at the numbers you were getting it? Did you?
I didn't. When you're talking about somebody that was naive at the time, the only thing I knew was the streets. The only thing I knew was cocaine. And I didn't know anything else. So that was my reality. What I'm getting is the way it is, and it's the way it should be. I never tried to sit down and figure out where it was coming from. Why was it so cheap? I was just glad that it was cheap and good. And that was pretty much the vast of my wisdom.
Right.
I never sit down and say, well, should it be this cheap, or should they be having this much drugs over here? Those things. I wanted more. Can you get more?
Right.
Can you bring more in? Can you get it cheaper? Can you get any better than this? Is it better?
Yeah. Woo. Yeah, man.
How they getting it over here, or why they bringing it over here? None of those was important to me.
Right. You weren't interested in the patriotic aspect of it?
Not at all. None.
I know that's right. Not to harp on your situation, but remarkably, you didn't have any murders in your situation, and you made, you definitely made $1 billion plus back then.